What's up, y'all? I'm gonna go over a quick and simple strategy for you that can be day trading or swing trading. But it's really just how you use it. And this is based off the indicator that I had put together. Normally, I'm not an indicator-based trader. I do have indicator-based strategies, but I said, screw it. Why don't I just make an indicator that will work how I want it to work? And then I can use it, right? So that's what I'm about to show y'all real quick. So MSC indicator, it is invite only. So you'll see in the text below this video, and of course, how you can get access to the indicator. But it's quite simple. And once you're in it, after you get it, if you choose to get it, using a 50-day moving average as the EMA, leaving everything else the same, putting it on a 15-day moving average, we're just going to check out SPY over the last month. So today is December 21st, and we're going to start off with November 21st. The only other thing I like to have with mine is showing confirmed signals only. Right, and those are the ones I'll be taking. So with this indicator, its purpose isn't to give you a 100% win rate, right? Let's keep in mind with trading that it's pretty hard to try to shoot for perfection, right? But the goal isn't a 100% win rate. We want to win, but we don't want that to be the thing that we get so caught up in that we forget what the real goal is, which is making money, right? And so we can sacrifice win rate to have a bigger profit, right? Think about it. Would you rather, if you were playing heads or tails with somebody, flipping a coin, and if they won, they got paid $10, but if you won, you only got paid $1. Even if you won 9 out of 10 times, you would have to pay them 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And then that one time that you win, they pay you 10, right? Or they pay you 1. So you win rate, you have a 90% win rate, but it means nothing versus them, if you flip it up, they can have a bigger gain when they win. Even if the win rate is smaller, you have a bigger gain that makes up for it. So let's go ahead and dive into it. With these settings, here's how I like to use the indicator. And it's really quite simple. Using the 15-minute time frame, what I want to do is grab a contract on SPY that is at least a week out. That doesn't mean I'm going to close it in the week. I might close it that day, but I like to have it a week out so I can give it time to run, because the MSC indicator and trading with it is going to try to give you bigger moves to catch, not just get right, right? We're trying to catch moves, right? So let's go ahead and kick it from the top. All right, and again, it's December 21st, so we're going to do a month. So we see we have our first long signal fire off here. And this is how we're going to do our entries and exits. We're going to exit on the close of our long signal, enter on the close of our entry signal. And we're going to exit once the super trend flips, right? So once the super trend flips, we'll exit. Or you can actually use a real take profit system based on the percentages of the trade and trim along the way. I really advise taking profits along the way if you buy multiple contracts. But if we're going to stick to just the indicator, then it would be exit with the super trend changes. But when you're managing your position, and you'll see this when we're looking at it, you'll see you'll have a great opportunity in most cases to secure pretty decent profits. And the reason why I say trim and cut some profits and leave some runners or extra contracts is because you're going to see that a lot of times you get bigger moves and you'll be sitting there missing out on the move because you closed everything out in the beginning. So with our first signal, we're going long here at the close. Put our stop loss below that super trend level. And we see that we ride this up. At a peak, we go up $6, all right? So at a peak, we capture a $6 move from Tuesday to Wednesday. So even if you have a week out contract, if for Tuesday to Wednesday, you get a $6 move, you can secure those profits, right? That whole move up, you can secure profits. And when you start learning the candlesticks and starting to get into your patterns, and that's why it's important to intertwine supply and demand, support, resistance, your candlesticks, and price action, and not solely be dependent upon indicators, you can give yourself a clearer picture, right? But if we were to close out, then we see that we would have had this move up, and then we could have ultimately still got out with profit, but we would have got out here when it came back down Wednesday. All right, so a little later on Wednesday, but we had a profitable trade with chance for some pretty decent profits too. And let's go down to the next signal that we get. This signal comes on Monday. We get a short signal. We enter at the close of our short signal. Boom. All right. We go down that whole day and then the next day. All right. So we get a move. This move down is a little bit over a $5 move. At peak, a little over $6. All right. But we catch about $5, $6 again in a matter of 2 to 3 days. All right. So we're getting this $5, $6 move, 2 to 3 days. We have some time on our contract. All right. Again, we're securing profits. And you have an opportunity with shorter contracts to make more money, but it's a little more risky because it might go against you quick. All right, but let's look at the next one. So move here, move here. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. We get a long signal. So we buy our calls. We shoot up. $11 move straight up, right? Obviously, you're securing profits. Again, if you're going to trade just off the indicator, then you would end up getting out here the next day. But we're not leaving profits on the table, right? So if you catch an $11 move in one day or in 2 days, we're locking that in, right? But again, another profitable trade, and you're going to start learning and developing your own system for getting out of trades and managing your trades. But here we go again. The easy way to do it would be just setting a stop loss. What I like to do is set a stop loss below the entry candle and then just let it ride out. All right, and there's different ways you can trail your stops. We've covered that before, where you can see how you can trail it. So here's our first trade that we would have lost. And this would have been a short trade. We would have got in here. Would have been immediately in drawdown. And with our stop loss being below or above our entry candle, sorry, if we had that stop loss, we're immediately stopped out. So far we got a $5 move or $4.50 move. We have our $6 move here. And we have our $11 move, and then we got a loss that's $1. Right? Like, isn't that crazy? And then it flipped back down, kept going. So cool. We already up nice. Let's go ahead and get long here. Stop loss here. All right, and this one we kind of just move sideways on. And so when we flip to the downside, even though we didn't collect big profits, because we got a contract, and that's what I'm saying, I like to get my contracts a week out. Because I got my contracts a week out, this isn't going to hurt me as much as if you went 0 DTE, right? Because this whole day, you're just moving sideways. So that theta was eating up your contract. Now we go short. We go short here. We get one candle down, and then it starts moving back against us. All right? And we get out. We get this long signal here. So we get out, because now we have a long signal, still on Monday. And now we're going long, because we have a long signal. Boom, gap up, $14, about $13.50. Secure profits, right? Lock that in. So again, you see, we're not winning every single trade, but our wins, $13 move versus a loss that was 1 cent, or a loss that was over here, what was it, $1.16, right? These losses are so minimal that these gains just eat them up. It doesn't even matter. Here's our next signal. We go short here, right? We go short. Stop loss is above that entry. And look at the move that you catch, right? And you, of course, you probably would have taken profits somewhere throughout, right? That's all going into how you manage your trade. And there's different ways you manage the trade. But look at that, right? Huge move that you can catch on the way down. $21 move from the 14th down to the 19th, 5 days. You caught a $21 move. That's big money, right? And that's why I like getting those contracts that give me a chance to let this trade run and give me the big move, okay? And then we have a long signal here. and we would have got stopped out if we took the short, the below the low as our stop loss. So we'll go long here, and we would have got stopped out on the next candle. Cool. All right. So even if we got stopped out, that's fine. Let's look at the money we've made throughout this past month and the moves that we caught, right? We've been catching pretty much all the big swings. Even if we, just like this, even if we get stopped out early, that's fine, but we're catching the big moves that pay the big money, the moves that people say, man, if I got in calls here, if I got in puts here, I would have made so much money, right? That's what you're catching, okay? So again, how I like to do it, and you develop your own method, I like to take the short entry or the long entry. When it's confirmed, you'll see that it's a dark coloring. The other ones will have gray coloring on them or gray shading. If it's not fully confirmed signal like this here or like this here. Look at that, right? So that's how I like to take mine. I like to do my contracts to have at least a week out of time on them so that I can have one, time to catch the whole move, and two, if I do get stopped out, the stop is so small that it means nothing to me. So I'm getting stopped out minus 5%, minus 10 or 15%, but my gains that I'm getting are plus 60, 70, 80, 90% moves because I'm catching $20 moves, $10 moves in a matter of days. All right. So that's one of those strategies I want to share with y'all. Again, the MSC indicator, you'll be able to access it. The details are below on how you can get access to that. And you can put it on your chart and start trading with it and make some money, y'all. If you have questions, reach out to me.